Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Nicholas Richardson and this is the news. In a final judgment, the European Court of Justice has found that the reform of the Polish judiciary in December 2019 violates European Union law because judicial independence and impartiality are not respected. The ECJ thus upheld the complaint brought by the European Commission in April 2021.
Rzeczpospolita Polska.
By entrusting the disciplinary chamber of the Supreme Court in Poland, whose independence and impartiality are not guaranteed, with the authority to rule on cases which have a direct impact on the status of the judge and the court assessors, as well as on their duties, such as, on the one hand, court cases on detention or permission to hold a judge or court assessor criminally responsibility, and, on the other hand, court cases related to labour law and social security related to the judges in the Supreme Court, and cases related to sending judges into retirement, the Republic of Poland failed to fulfil the obligations which it is obliged to based on Article 19(1), paragraph 2 of the European Union Treaty.
Królestwo Danii.
The ECJ judgment obliges Poland to pay €556 million to the European Commission. In addition to its own costs, the Republic of Poland must pay the costs incurred by the Commission, including those relating to the proceedings for interim measures. The penalty payable by Poland is calculated from October 2021. This is a blatant violation of the European treaties by the ECJ, encroaching on competences it does not have. If anyone thinks that this court has such competences, then please show me where it is written. Where, in the European treaties, is it mentioned that the ECJ can regulate the judicial system in member states? There are no such provisions. This is the first government since 2004 which, instead of getting money from the Union, is paying it there. We are all paying today for this stupid war against Polish judges and the European Union. On the 1st of April 2021, the European Commission lodged a complaint in the Court of Justice of the European Union over the reform of the Polish judiciary. The disciplinary chamber of the Supreme Court, by virtue of the circumstances of its establishment, its composition and the powers conferred upon it, does not constitute a judicial body fulfilling the attributes of an independent court within the meaning of Article 19(1), Treaty of the European Union, in conjunction with Article 47 of the Charter. Consequently, retaining its cognizance in cases of other national judges concerning the status and conditions of the exercise of the office of judge, it infringes their independence and constitutes a violation of Article 19(1), Treaty of the European Union. The Polish government abolished the disciplinary chamber of the Supreme Court and replaced it with the Chamber of Professional Responsibility. However, this was not enough. In January this year, the Sejm passed another amendment to the Supreme Court Act. Disciplinary and immunity cases of judges were transferred to the Supreme Administrative Court. However, President Andrzej Duda referred the amendment to the Constitutional Tribunal. The next hearing date on this issue has been set for the 27th of June. Preliminary analysis already indicates that some of the allegations are already outdated, and second, that some of the issues raised by the tribunal may also be resolved if the law amending the Act on the Supreme Court, which was adopted by the Sejm in January this year, enters into force. This is not the first time Poland has been targeted by European Union institutions, and according to publicists, today's verdict was predictable. Poland is to be punished, to be a second-class country in the European Union. This is driving Poland into a corner, in the interests of Germany. On the 10th of March this year, Poland applied to the European Court of Justice to revoke or amend the provision on the financial penalty because of the changes that had been made. The ECJ decided to reduce the amount of the periodic penalty payment to €500,000 per day. Today's judgment brings the penalties to an end. The Russian military says it has repelled a Ukrainian offensive in the Donetsk region. Allegedly, 6 mechanized and 2 tank battalions went on the offensive. The Russians speak of significant losses suffered by Ukrainian equipment and men, although there has been nothing from Ukrainian sources. Russian forces have thwarted a major Ukrainian offensive in the southern Ukrainian region of Donetsk and killed hundreds of pro-Kiev troops, the Defense Ministry in Moscow said on Monday. In a statement, the ministry said Ukraine had launched the attack on Sunday using 6 mechanized and 2 tank battalions. Journalists were able to confirm the location of 2 clips by the road layout, terrain, trees and other foliage seen in the videos, which matched satellite imagery of the area. However, there is no independent verification of the other clips or the date the videos were filmed. Ukraine's military said it had no information about a major offensive which Russia said Kiev had launched at 5 points along the front line in the Ukrainian region of Donetsk. In turn, Ukraine's foreign minister Dmytro Kuleba said that his country had received enough weapons to go on the counteroffensive.
We received enough weapons to begin the counteroffensive, but I will say, again, my answer is always the same to this. I will say that we received enough of weapons after we win. because until we haven't won, there will be never enough of weapons. When you go on the counteroffensive, one thing is to have enough of weapons to begin it, but another thing is to ensure sustainability of supplies in order to be able to continue as long as it is needed.
Do you think that this counteroffensive will be the victory needed for NATO membership?
Yes. They told me that I have to be short in answers because
Any follow-up on that? Why or?
Oh, because the more successful we are on the battleground, the easier it gets to get certain decisions down. That's just the law. That's how it works. Probably yes. That would be a reasonable counter-argument to my intuitive wish to become NATO member tomorrow. NATO membership. We unlocked all weapons positions. There is nothing big left to fight for. But the ultimate, NATO membership cannot stop this war. But NATO membership will prevent further wars. This is why the best way to ensure security and to stabilize security in the region is to come to the moment when Ukraine becomes a member of NATO. This is the best defense assistance you can eventually get. When you fight the war, you can only say that you received enough weapons when you celebrate victory. Then you come out and you say, guys, thank you very much for providing me with weapons that I needed to get to this point. And then if you are in a bad mood, you can complain that things could have been done faster, or you can skip that point if you are happy. But I will never say, I never said it, and I will never say until the moment of victory that we have enough weapons to win.
A pro-Ukraine group of Russian partisans said in a Telegram post that it controlled the Russian border town of Novaya Tarvolzhanka and published footage of armed men in camouflage gear walking through the town. The statement came after Russia's defense ministry said it had repelled a Ukrainian attempt to cross the border into the Belgorod region in southern Russia on Sunday and killed more than 10 fighters, Russian news agencies reported. The governor of Belgorod, Vyacheslav Gladkov, on Sunday also reported fighting in the town of Novaya Tarvolzhanka with what he called Ukrainian saboteurs. Another pro-Kiev Russian militia published drone footage on Monday showing a military vehicle on fire in Novaya Tarvolzhanka. Developing capabilities in launch systems, participation in the Artemis and the Moon to Mars programs, or in the construction of new space stations. These are potential areas for Polish-United States cooperation in the space sector. NASA Administrator Bill Nelson visited Poland last week. The importance of this visit was discussed today by the president of the Polish Space Agency, Professor Grzegorz Wroczna. Cooperation with NASA is growing, and Administrator Nelson came to learn about the Polish space sector. We spoke at the Polish Space Agency and presented our activities and our plans, and later he met at the United States Ambassador's residence companies that produce equipment that is already flying into space. For example, in the last JUICE mission, we contributed to 3 out of 10 instruments, and this is an example of how Polish companies and Polish institutes can contribute to NASA missions. The Silesian Science and Technology Center, which manufactures panels for satellites, has signed a contract with NASA to supply panels for the Gateway station, which will orbit the moon, and there will be more such projects. That's the news. Thank you for watching. Stay with us for the weather, Poland Daily Business, and more programmes. But from me, it's have a good night and a better tomorrow.